You can't talk about the best female golfers ever to come out of the state of Indiana without mentioning Julia Potter-Bobb. She was a 4-time All-State selection at Penn High School. She then went to the University of Missouri, where she was all Big 12. Julia then turned professional, but quickly found out that life wasn't for her.
I never grew up saying I wanted to be a professional golfer. I grew up saying I always wanted to play golf. And so a mixture of that, and I just realized that playing for money was not how I wanted to experience the game. I've had a very strong relationship. I always joke that golf is the longest relationship I've ever held on to. And so I very much protect it. And I noticed that it wasn't making me enjoy the sport. And therefore I needed to look for a different avenue, and that's what I did.
So Julia got her amateur status back. And shortly after that, she won the 2013 USGA Women's Mid-Am.
When I got the amateur status back, it was a year and a half before that tournament. I had it circled on my calendar. I mean, you can ask my dad. I knew what I was working towards. That was everything for me. That's what people work towards. And so to experience in my first try, it's such a blessing. It opened my doors to a lot of other things.
And 3 years later, she added a second Mid-Amateur Championship, cementing her place as an Indiana golf legend.
I don't think anyone has had, a better playing career from junior days through, now Mid-Am than Julia has. Her success in Indiana, but not only Indiana, nationwide. When you look at winning 2 USGA championships, I mean that's significant. In my mind, it's significant to qualify for one, let alone to win 2.
And at the age of 35, Julia isn't done yet. The 5-time champion finished second at this year's Indiana Amateur, competing against college players. She tied for 3rd in the Indiana Women's Open, an event she's won twice. And she made another run at the USGA Mid-Am, making it to the round of 32. So, what are her goals now?
I would really like to qualify for the U.S. Women's Open. I have missed out on that twice in qualifiers, and then of course they started doing the exemption from the Mid-Am the year after I won my second one. So I would love to do that. I think if I'm looking for goals, it's continuing to play at a high level. I've won a state am in my teens, 20s, 30s, so I would love to do it in my 40s and maybe 50s. But really just, those are probably my 2 goals, that are quantitative.
Don't put it past her. Despite being the busy mother of a toddler and the director of business operations and membership for the Indiana Golf Office, Julia is always ready for a challenge, and so is her game.
She's not going out every day and beating 1,000 golf balls. She will not touch a club for a week and then just beat you like a drum. And it's very humiliating. She's phenomenal about the way she goes about her game, because she's very quiet, and the next thing you know, she's 3 or 4 under. But she's rock solid. Her game's rock solid, and she's had a tremendous impact on competitive side of golf in Indiana.
Certainly, at some point in the future, Mike David will no doubt be welcoming Julia Potter-Bobb into the Indiana Golf Hall of Fame. I'm Brian Hammonds for Indiana Golf.